Good morning. Welcome to another hike. We are currently at the trailhead on Route 55 in the town of Kent, Connecticut, very close to the New York border. And we're going to be hiking north on the Appalachian Trail from here up to Salisbury. We're going to take, we're going to do 4 nights, parts of 5 days. It's currently 10 of 10 this morning. I just got dropped off by a shuttle service provided by the Backcountry Outfitters business in Kent. So we're going to have some nice weather. As you can see, we might get a little rain tomorrow, but other than that, it should be mostly sunny and warm. It's a little over 70 now, which is probably about the warmest it's been here in Connecticut all year so far. So I wouldn't mind if it was a little cooler, but we'll take whatever comes. So today we've got a short day planned, 7-something miles to Scatacoke, I think it's called, Scatacook campsite. Some up and downs to go through to get there, and well, I'll take you along and show you what we find. Before we get too far, we should take a look at the map. We are here at the Route 55 trailhead, and we're actually going to parallel Route 55 for a short way and then cross it, and then go over 10 Mile Hill and to the 10 Mile River Shelter and over to Bull's Bridge. There's a covered bridge there we won't be seeing, and up Scatacook Mountain back into New York State, then back into Connecticut, and we're going to be staying at Scatacook Mountain campsite. Hope you enjoyed that. I've been playing with editing software over the winter. That was done mostly with an app called Motion from Apple. We are nearing the summit of 10 Mile Hill, which isn't that much of a hill, but it's got me breathing hard. First hike of the season, and I'm kind of out of shape. So the trees are just starting to leaf out, which should get us some good views that would otherwise be pretty marginal. Well, it's about 11 o'clock now, and we have finally reached the summit of 10 Mile Hill. 1,000 feet, according to the sign. And there's a bit of a view and a nice little breeze. It's 25 minutes of 12, and we have reached the shores of the 10 Mile River, and also the side trail to the 10 Mile River Shelter. So we'll go check that out. We're finally done lollygagging at the 10 Mile River Shelter. It's 12:15. The sign says there's a campsite, a group campsite on the map that's 1/10 of a mile north on the trail. My latest information is that no longer exists, but we'll go see. Apparently there is still a campground here. At least there's a sign, and there's a privy. There was supposed to be another pump here, but I don't see it. And again, Your only sources of water other than that are either the 10 Mile River and the Schaghticoke River, and you're not supposed to use either of those. Well, given that there's a big field up at the shelter and a water pump up there, I'm not sure why anyone would really choose to use this. So, and right adjacent to the campsite is the Ned Anderson Memorial Bridge, and a fine bridge it is too. This was reportedly trucked in, but I don't see a road here really, so I'm not sure what kind of truck was used. We'll go take a closer look at that. It is no doubt a serious bridge. There's the 10 Mile River. And here it meets the Schaghticoke River. So now we have a little under a mile, I believe, to get to the Bulls Bridge area. Should be pleasant. It's about 5 minutes of 1, and we've reached the road. Bulls Bridge Road, I believe, and across the way is Scatacook Road, which we'll be taking for a short road walk. Down this direction, you might be able to see that big iron construction that crosses the road. And that's a height preventer, I guess, so that nothing that's tall enough to hurt the covered bridge that's a short distance down the road that way can get there. So, and it saved the bridge so far. And the shuttle driver who brought me down to the trailhead this morning said that things do hit that on a regular basis, so they are needed. All right, so as I said, we do have a road walk, so I've stashed the hiking poles for the duration. Off we go. Well, that was only about a 5-minute walk, so not too bad. When you get here, though, you need to watch for the double blaze, because there's no sign, and there may not be a car there to clue you in that this is the place that the trail turns. So it's up Scatacook Mountain, which I can recall from a hike over this section of trail about 9 years ago. Kind of kicked my butt. It was also first hike of the year. Probably only hike of the year that year. So anyway, off we go. Well, it seems certain that we have crossed the summit of Scatacook Mountain. We're headed slightly downhill now, and it was either unmarked or I missed it. So we're going to basically walk along this ridge for a while, excuse me, and well, we're back in New York State, and that transition was also unmarked. But according to the guide, the place where we recross into Connecticut in about a mile, maybe a little more, is marked, and if so, then we'll know where we are then. And after that point, we come to a place called Indian Rocks, where there's supposed to be a view, I think. Yeah. So that was a nice little climb. I wouldn't say that I consider my ass to have been kicked making that ascent, but it was about 1,000 feet, so worth noting anyway, especially on a first hike of the season. when I'm out of shape and 10 pounds overweight. All right, well, it should be easier now. See you in a bit. Well, there's no sign here either, but I'm going to guess this is Indian Rocks, with a pretty nice view down into the Housatonic River Valley and beyond to the east. So from here it's 6/10 of a mile to the campsite. It's about 5 after 3. So it's about 3:30 and we've arrived at the side trail that will take us to the Scatacook Mountain camping area. We have a map here that tells us to go up along the brook, and then there are some designated camping off sites off to the left. So let's go take a look. Whoever put up this sign apparently thinks that you should be getting water down there somewhere. That was hard to get to. I don't see any reason why I couldn't find a spot to get some water more conveniently right up here. So Hammock Camp is deployed. Got a water bag hanging up over there, and the hammock and tarp set up. That's mostly the same as before. Well, we'll get to that in a second, but first thing I wanted to point out I've got is a ZQ, 2Q, ZQ, there you go, tree stand we're going to try out today and see how that goes. Over here on the hammock, let's see. Well, we've got Kevlar tree huggers, swapping out for the nylon or polyester ones. Not sure the material on the black ones that Dutch was selling before, but we're trying the lighter weight Kevlars. And we're using them with the same Dutch buckle that we were using before, and Dutch on his site does approve of this. Back in the middle of the winter, I was hoping to get some speed hooks and try a speed hook suspension, but before I acted, Dutch suspended the sale of speed hooks, so I didn't get that opportunity, and perhaps it's just as well since he suspended the sale for a reason. So this is the only change we've made to the suspension. As for the hammock, for those of you paying close attention to all of my videos, you might be saying, wait, that's a slightly different color. It used to be brownish green or greenish brown, and now it's definitely greenish green. And yes, it is. And there's a story. In the middle of the winter, when I had nothing better to do, I took my prior hammock apart. So I took out the continuous loop and spread it out and looked at the channel. And what I found was that the fabric adjacent to the channel was failing. So I mentioned many times that was 1.1 ounce ripstop, which A lot of people, or at least some people, say it's too light, and in fact Papa Smurf or Randy at Dream Hammocks stopped offering hammocks with 1.1 single layer ripstop nylon, and that was the reason, because they would fail. It's kind of interesting. I traded some emails with Randy, and he said that went for years and years and years, and it worked fine, and he ordered the same fabric, same spec, and it started failing. So anyway, long story short, he took care of me, and this is actually, I sent the hammock back to him, and he swapped out the 1.1 ounce failing fabric and swapped in 1.6 ounce in the color I selected, and I'm still a satisfied customer of Dream Hammock. So now the hammock is a little heavier, but it's not going to fall apart. All right, we're going to start thinking about dinner. Okay, here is the 2Q ZQ tree shelf in action, where I'm cooking up supper. So there's plenty of room to do this, and it holds the weight without any problem at all. So it's very handy. You know, I have in the past cooked on the ground under my hammock, and I have no problem doing that in general, but the ground here in this spot is not level, and there's about a foot of leaves there, so it wouldn't be all that handy. So this is. The meal today is chicken cacciatore, which is a recipe that I'm trying to develop myself just to expand my horizons, but I'm not happy enough with yet to share with the world, so it's still a project that's in progress. So this is what the chicken cacciatore bugs looks like now. Nothing wrong with the way it looks, but it doesn't really fully live up to my expectations. But it'll fill my tummy. So it's about 8 o'clock. I've been in the hammock for a little while with the bug net deployed. Thankfully, they don't seem to be as bad now, but there were lots of little no-see-em-like things before, and they were pretty annoying. They didn't bite or anything. So, and I've been here for a while and reading my wife's Kindle Voyage rather than my Paperwhite. As I mentioned in another video, the Voyage has two advantages over the Paperwhite. One is that it has buttons on the side that can be used to turn the pages and will work while wearing gloves. Now, that won't matter tonight. I'm pretty sure it's pretty warm now, and it may be 50 by morning, but it won't be cold enough to need gloves by the time I'm done reading, I'm sure. And the second thing is that it's an ounce lighter than the Paperwhite, which is great. Actually, my wife likes it for a third and different reason. Is she thinks that the screen technology is better, easier to read. I haven't really noticed the difference, but everyone's different. So that'll pretty much do it for today's adventure. And tomorrow we'll have another adventure. See you in the morning.